Back now with this important health alert this morning, and we're talking about eye drops. The federal health officials now warning consumers to stop using more than 2 dozen over-the-counter eye drop products. These products were sold under the 6 brands that you see here, including CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. The FDA says there is a potential risk of eye infections that could cause vision loss or even blindness. By the way, we're going to have a spot where you can check out this list because there are like 26 different products. That's why we're not showing you specifics right now. There's so many to list.
Could be brands that you use.
Exactly.
So we're going to have that list available to you by going to a link that we're going to have set up for you. We do have an expert, though, with us this morning, optometrist Dr. Ina Lazar. Dr. Lazar, thank you so much for joining us. This has obviously got a lot of people alarmed. I'm flanked by people who use eye drops all the time. And so it's concerning. It's concerning to a lot of people. I mean, there are, by 2024 standards, 123 million Americans that apparently use eye drops. So what can you tell us about this recall and the ingredient or the bacteria that was found inside that could potentially cause harm?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. You know, this is not the first time this happened. We've had this in the beginning of the year, and it is comforting to know that FDA is being vigilant and is checking everything to their standards, because this time there has been reports of manufacturing issues. However, there has been no reports of actual product contamination reported. So it's important for patients who are using these drops to actually make sure this is the drop that's on the list and immediately dispose of it and call their eye doctor.
Doctor, what makes your eye so vulnerable to an infection?
So the ocular surface is very vulnerable. It does not follow the same immune system that our body has. And therefore, these bacteria, there's actually few of them that can penetrate through the ocular surface. And that's what causes really that eye loss and vision loss. And some patients have reported previously lives were lost.
So you talked about earlier this year, back in January, when that bacteria came out and it was like drug resistant. Tell us about why that was so serious. That particular bacteria that was found, that could have potentially been found again here, which is why there's this massive recall. And talk about some of the things that can happen to a person who's exposed to it.
So one of the bacteria that were found were Pseudomonas, and it is very difficult to treat it. It is important to culture the eye and culture that infection to make sure you find the appropriate treatment. With that being said, there hasn't been any reports on these specific drops yet. It is encouraged and it's important for providers and patients to report these if you do have any light sensitivity, any pain, vision loss, redness. Those are important signs to watch out for. But once it is diagnosed, we're able to really take action as soon as possible.
Makes sense. Doctor, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. Give us that perspective there from the medical world. Meanwhile, we talked about that list. So for a full list of the specific eye drops, so when you open the medicine cabinet, you can go through and see. Exactly. You can digit. So go to our website, abc7ny/mornings at 10. We have a specific area there for you to check it out.
Yasharahla, peace, citation, hopeful, Shalom. And today I'm going to get on the topic of how the FDA is recalling for certain eye drops that they promoted. And we know through the spirit that the FDA is pretty much responsible for all of the products that are sold in the pharmacy or products that are sold within food industry or the pharmaceutical industry as well. Pretty much products that people consume or products that they use for their personal health or personal care. So yeah, and they're responsible for accepting certain ingredients in products and banning certain ingredients as well. And we all know they do a terrible job at banning a lot of ingredients that are actually harmful to our personal health. Because when we look at the FDA in other countries, a lot of the stuff that America allows for, within their FDA, they allow for a lot of GMOs and a lot of chemicals that are banned in other countries. And that's the only reason why, like, you see a lot of people here in America are suffering with obesity. A lot of them are also suffering, with the chemicals, so they get pretty much sick. You see in the scripture in the New Testament, it mentions that how, we would eat poison and live, And it also says in Ezekiel, I believe it's the 4th chapter, it goes into saying that how, we would eat our food defiled amongst the Gentiles. So these are just all the curses in the end of the day. But this devil is so sick. Like, you mean to tell me that now, out of all the time that you've been advertising and, promoting and selling these eye drops, now you mean to tell me that you do a recall on the eye drops that people have been purchasing over the past few decades? And this devil even says that people have reported having their lives lost from using these products, and it has the chance of getting your eye infected. So it just really shows you that this devil doesn't really even care about the people. The only time when he wants to probably like make a, let's say a news report on things is when they're starting to see the effects on people when they use certain things and people start speaking out against it. But if nobody says anything, then he won't even really speak on it, And it really shows you that they don't even give a damn about, especially not our people, but they don't even give a damn about their own, because even their own people is the one buying all this shit and getting affected as well. Shows you that Esau is really the devil. But anyway, I'm gonna get out the scriptures, and Lord willing make this lesson edifying. So it says in Proverbs chapter 6, and I'll start at verse 12. It says, a naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teacheth with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart, he deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord, therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Yep. And that's honestly, when it's coming to this devil Esau, those are things that really describe him. Because first of all, that Food and Drug Administration, there's a lot of shit that it shows that, the poison that they allow for, to be within the food industry and within the pharmaceutical industry, and the shit that they push in the healthcare industry as well. And, the products that they show that's approved by the FDA in America, it says top 10 food additives and preservatives to be aware of. Artificial sweeteners, that's number 1. Number 2, high fructose corn syrup. 3, MSG. 4, trans fat. 5, common food dyes. 6, sodium sulfite. 7, sodium nitrite slash sodium nitrite. And 8, BHA and BHT. And 9, sulfur dioxide. And 10, potassium bromate. And it says, eat these additives, and you soon need one of these, right? And it shows mad pills, and then it shows someone standing by a casket, and it says, today more than 95% of all chronic illnesses is caused by food choices, toxic food ingredients, nutritional deficiencies, and lack of physical exercise. Mike Adams, the health ranger. And I don't know about this, I hope they don't take this video down, because I know for a fact that I'm exposing a lot. But this devil Esau really, exposing himself. And it tells you that in Psalm 64 that their tongue shall fall upon themselves. And matter of fact, I'm just going to bring it out. Alright, this is Psalm chapter 64, verse 6. It says, "They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly they shall be wounded. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." Right. And this devil is really just even having articles that exposes certain things that he's pushing within, the industry, such as the eye drops that he recalls now. So like I said, all these decades of you pushing this shit, now all of a sudden you want to recall it, like, make that make sense. And it's the same thing with the food pyramid. It's like certain things they always groomed our people to believe from a very young age, and just growing up from there, you will think that you grew up to understand the right things, and in fact, like, it's completely wrong. And now when Esau gets exposed on these things, through social media, it's like they want to recall it now and push it out on the mainstream media or in certain articles to recall, certain things that they've always been teaching, which of course they start out teaching out lies, and then they start trying to, I guess, speak a little bit truth to try to, like, redeem themselves from the lies that they've been pushing from the start. And one thing I will, like, pretty much highly recommend is that it's always best to try to get, like, the organic version of things, like USD, organic, non-GMO, when you just come into buying anything that's related to personal health care or just like food and anything pertaining to your diet or your health. Is always best to try to get like the high quality out of it, which is USD, organic related, or something that's non-GMO. But even then, it's like it still has certain ingredients that you're not aware of, and that could be potentially harmful. But you always want to strive to get the best quality of things, And it says in we bring out Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 9. It says, "An hypocrite with his mouth destroyed his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered." And ultimately, this knowledge helped us to open our eyes to a lot of things. And it tells you in the book of Revelation, I believe it's the 3rd chapter, where it says about how this is like, I saw this truth. And it helped us to see, through a lot of the bullshit that Esau be pushing. So when they go as far as exposing a lie that they've always been pushing for decades, because it seems like people are starting to, awake to certain things. Now, whenever we see this devil Esau starting to trying to push out maybe, let's say, somewhat of the truth, even then it's like sometimes they still throw a little bit of lies in it, and they try to always word it in a way where they're not trying to tell you the full truth. And through the scriptures, we already know this is pretty much spiritual logic here on how these devils are. But even average people in the world are starting to wake up to some extent on how the fact that these devils just lie a lot on their mainstream media platform. And it says in verse 11, "By the blessing of the upright the city is exalted, but is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked." Because when you look at like a lot of the shit that is being pushed out now in terms of like the truth, you got a lot of whistleblowers on social media starting to really enlighten people, starting to make people aware of certain products that they're consuming when it has certain ingredients, like, the GMO chemicals that they push in the food that cause the hormonal imbalance. People are starting to be aware of those things a little bit more than they used to. And let me bring on another precept. It says, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 25, a true witness delivereth souls, but a deceitful witness speaketh lies. And another one, Proverbs chapter 26, verse 28 says, a lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. And this devil has it to where, like, a lot of people just are so accustomed to the lies that they don't even care about the truth. So, they're just always grown up with the fact that, that they've been buying these products for all these years. So some people don't consider. And, there's just certain people out there that's just going to have to go as far as, exposing this information, like what, brothers do through the Spirit. And even people that are not anointed with this truth, they still go out and expose, all the shit that this devil will be pushing. There's the last precept. It says Psalms 120, verse 2. Deliver my soul, O Lord, from lying lips and from a deceitful tongue. And we're just blessed and, thankful that how the Most High, delivered us from all these lies that the devil has been pushing. Scriptures say that how, Esau is a liar and he's a father of it, And going to the word devil means deceiver in etymology. So, with that, who may listen and find, let's give all glory, praise, honor, to Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shamalak Yahshua, Bashem Gakadash, the last apostle, Elzman, Milson, peace, that's even hopeful, that Shalom.